What's good, YouTube, and welcome to the house. I have had a weird messed up day with my schedule, but I'm sitting here waiting for Mortal Kombat to drop on HBO. I've marathoned the old movies. I'm freaking ready, and with that, I thought let's drop Market Watch here late at night while everybody else might be waiting, and if you're not a fan, understandable. But there have been some huge top-end movements in the market and some other odd-off ones, and we're gonna start super heavy like a samurai. About a year ago, I posed that question: how are collector rares going to be perceived by the market? Then they hit. It was crazy. Toon Chaos was shorted. We got unlimited collector rares, which also made things super weird, and then 15 more per side set, per deck building set from the OCG started to go in, and it turns out it depends what the collector rare is. It's not like Starlights, where it's going to be every single Starlight is just going to shoot up in price or keep above 100 as they have been with collector rares. Some dip all the way down towards 30, towards 20, and then the top end ones have a lot more say. So with this world premiere set, Konami USA had a lot more say in what got to be collector rare. We see hand traps like Gamma going crazy, where remember when first editions were 180? Now the unlims sit around 180 and the first editions are near 290 tonight. Stardust Dragon has a lot of hype coming for it. You have Dawn of Majesty, you have a new Wind Synchro pack, so this version of Stardust is really loved, and the unlims now sit near 200, which is where the first eds, you remember $220 being hype, and now the first editions, let's see where they land, around 269, nice, 270 before they are 300. Blackluster Soldier was 400 during its strong hype, dipped all the way down to 280. Now the unlims sit near 200, and the lowest first edition is 500. There was a $400 one last night when we were looking at collector rares on stream, and the one that is really heading the charge, cover card of the pack, Toon Blackluster Soldier, has gone to new heights. Unlimited's around 200, but the first edition now a low of 750, and it is going moonrocketing over on eBay to past 600. This is pretty crazy to see this kind of reception, and it reminds me of kind of those world envelopes where a year later you can really see something make or break itself, where like these were sitting at $400 all this time, and a year later on the world's envelopes they're suddenly 1,000, 1,200. The demands there as they dried up, got into people's hands, and the huge rush for them happened. Well, the rush is landing on Toon Chaos and its collector rares that are more so towards the top end. This really makes me think a lot about King's Court and its description. I have a super good feeling about how it will turn out, but you're still rolling the dice and gambling if you're going on to sit on it sealed. But I, as a vendor, would personally be taking that gamble. I am not your financial advisor, by the way, / disclaimer that YouTubers do, but I personally would be doing that if I was still a vendor. It says be on the lookout for collector rares and versions of world premiere cards and previously unreleased cards from Japan. So they're also going to OCG import. I'm not gonna cry, oh, cross out Designator for every single set. I think that it has a good chance to land in here or the Mega 10s after seeing Dragoon work its magic on the 2020 10s over time, but I'm not gonna cry it out for the set. I think even without cross out Designator, this will end up pretty good, as well as classic and competitive favorites. More so what I'm excited about is that Konami USA again gets more of a say of what's going to go on in here, and that it being a world premiere set, you'll have cards exclusive to this that we haven't seen before that aren't likely to get reprinted anytime soon. I don't think it's Toon Chaos 2.0. Toons are a fan favorite. Chaos is an old meta favorite. It was the perfect combo. I was calling this the next Ancient Millennium. I was very right in that. When you see 300 sealed, I don't think you're going to see like any year necessarily 300 sealed for King's Court, but I do think it will be grossly under-ordered, and it's one of your last chances to get it cheap. You can use code WhatsGood5 for 5% off, and to support the channel if you're rolling the dice on it and going in by the caseload, and they also have boxes still at 65. I am seeing this dry up a lot of freaking places, and I would think about getting this sooner than later if you are in the market for it. Either cases, this is over on Yu-Gi-Oh! Black Market, and I highly do think it is a roll of the dice I would personally be taking, especially looking at how this did. But you also have to keep in mind sets like Shadows in Valhalla, where a super ass-shorted reprint from the Supers took over the set, which is the same kind of set as this, but that did not have collector rares, also giving potential hype like this into the set for the future. Now, speaking of hype sets, Ghost from the past has been churning out to pretty weird prices. The sealed has simmered down a little as it hit the shelves, but still stayed way above MSRP. You do see other singles from it going different which ways, evenly matched baby bumping up, Remus baby bumping down, Nefshadal Genius baby bumping down, and others all around the place. Time Thief Adjuster trying to dig the heels in the sand around $7, but the set is settling pretty nice, but you're not going to see just gross amounts of quantities from a single seller like a usual release. I actually had somebody comment like, if I want penny stunks from this set, how do I go about that? And the answer is, you're picking them up from different sellers at a time, most likely, because the big boys didn't rip this open. It was easier to just offload this sealed. Case in point, Tier 0 is one of the biggest boys in the game, and they've actually put back a great deal, code WhatsGood5 for 5% off and to support the channel on these already low prices. They are almost back to MSRP on these cases, shipped internationally to your front door for free if you are ordering over 50 pounds, which both of these easily get to, and their displays are under $100, and when you map that out, it's like pretty darn good versus hunting empty shelves at Target and that sort of stuff. But a lot of vendors have two thoughts about this. Sit on it sealed and wait for a while and let it go up, hoping that they don't meet the wall of the unlimiteds, and even then knowing that first edition Ghost will sell this way better than unlimited Ghost rares, or they're just deciding to sell it sealed rather than crack it open, and that's why you're not seeing like people with insane amount of quantities. Like, let's go ahead and click emergency teleport, for example. Do we see anybody? No, it's all 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2. You don't see any 50, 100 copies of emergency teleport from a single seller. You're seeing a bunch of different people piece it out, and you have to decide, if you're trying to get those lower prices, how you want to kind of chop that up, search that seller for other cards, make the cart $5 to get that free shipping, and decide what you're gonna do with that. Rise of the prices continues. I've seen Odd Eye's Revolution Dragon and a lot more Dragon Link builds recently, and it was a low of 25-ish last night. We do see more motivated sellers lining up already, but I think that with cards from Rise of the Duelist and things that can end up in the Megatins, you want to keep your eye on that market. And with the Megatins pushed back past Dawn of Majesty, you can start to kind of see different thoughts and approaches. Like, I think I'm going to hold this for a bit. Other buyouts might happen. Then I can list mine and make a higher sale. People like to race versus that reprint announcement clock, and we're waiting on either Yugi tubers, Konami themselves, or leaks to reveal anything from the Megatins. That's probably a good amount off, because last time we only knew about Dragoon and the 3 world premiere cards at first, and it took forever to get reveals. So people going, I don't know if I should invest waiting for reveals. When will the reveals be? That's the point. If you want to get in on any early bird pricing and get good in early, like, you don't get to wait for reveals, so you either pay more of a premium after getting that knowledge, or you go in early, and people are now playing that clock on, oh yeah, people think this won't make the Megatins, that won't make the Megatins, I'm about to make freaking bank, and that's a lot of what's happening with the sets from Eternity Code, Rise of the Duelist, Ignition Assault, and Phantom Baby Rage, which is Strike only has one reprint and got bought out for both copies. I can't personally suggest this one. I don't see it in a lot of metagames. While I do think the card had really good potential for back and forth formats. Break My Board, Dragon Link format. I'm showing my age, my boomerism, I'm going back in time. But seriously, there is potential for it, but it just doesn't feel like it fits in anywhere where it's solidly going off all the time. Silent Wabi, a rival here on the Market Watch, is up in price. We saw this activated on stream last night, and yeah, Mystic Mind players going for this one once again, I guess. And also Ledger of Ledgermane never got a reprint and is up towards almost $10 pretty quick. A couple motivated sellers. Wow, what a weird potential card that just hasn't really impressed itself, but the Mind players, they're out here really buying their cards. I guess that Remote Duel Extravaganza that just showed, the Diviner of Heralds is actually a secret rare on the Extravaganza page for a giant card got revealed, so people want to play in those Extravaganzas. I bet that giant card cards going to go for a freaking ton, and you also have people playing for real prizes and anticipating that YCS that should be happening, the remote duel YCS at some point. Mystic Tomato Secret Rares were surprisingly cheap for me. We were talking about this and how we hoped for a LART to happen on this card. So even the first editions, I believe, are like under $5, $4.20, blaze it. And somebody pointed out the super rares were a good penny stonk. And to that I say, I think whoever suggested that might be a little self-interested. And we do see a lot of them near $1 when the market price is 50 cents. So maybe some rotten tomatoes there in that suggestion. I do hope for a LART one day of him and Don Zaluk. Somebody else was saying Twin Twisters is getting bought out. Look, only 11 listings, and when we rolled through here at the upped price, it seems a lot of people were waiting for the 6 quantities, 4 quantities, 8, 17 quantities. That's Jesse Cotton, I believe. So tons of people were ready for this one, are laying in wait, making it really hard for another buyout to happen on it, and are just hoping that it gets bought out in some kind of stampede. Looks like a lot of interested pockets hoping it goes that way, and I think with those quantities, it's unlikely. Focus will probably return to the other old school ones like Cosmic Cyclone, MST, and now people have been revolvingly buying those out with these kinds of deterring listings there. But hey, if you have deep pockets and want to make a somewhat bad buyout, use that TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra to support the channel directly for the cards you'd already be buying. Now, an interesting buyout, in my opinion, is ultra rare Summoner Monks. The unlims are pretty much untouched, down around $3 to $5, but the first editions for the most part have disappeared. We have one motivated seller around the $12 mark before it is near 20. So you do have Synchro Cat and other eras as people are looking and trying to figure out what's the next big thing, what's going to be the next plant format, or just the highest end version of super powerful cards that they do remember. Speaking of past formats, and you might guess, 8-0s, Simo! Blackwing's got a ton of buyouts, and my Discord was wondering genuinely why you saw Ultra Rare Blizzard around $25. It would probably be because of the progression series, despite their choices to change things and move things around. Dark Ruler No More is now a $5 common, as was pointed out to me, and it seems to have been here for a bit. A lot of value back to the Charmer structure deck, because vendors are paying about $5.50 per structure deck when they're getting them in, and now this is almost the entire value back. And what I really do like about the Charmer structure decks, besides them pulling evenly matched out of that deck, is the random number generation / RNG pulls that you can get on the promos and tokens. I guess they're not really promos, that's a wrong word for it, but you basically can pull something that has a random chance within a structure deck, and I really do like that with the Alter Art Charmers and the tokens. And then you have solid past format cards, Veiler, Warding, and then a lot of dude-esque cards like Dimensional Barrier, and I think Denko Seka might be in here too. Yeah, Denko's right there. So many cards within this set that are actually impressive. I might think about, you know, holding on to some structured decks as I see this rise, but Dark Ruler No More, super suspect to get another reprint in something like Maximum Gold if it were to happen again this year. Trap Trick Sarah is up in price, back above $20. We saw some shock react faces in chat to this one, and to that I say, you have new Trap Tricks coming out in Lightning Overdrive. People are just ahead of the curve, and it seems to have been here for a little bit. Ancient Gear Golem, cover card of a set, not even a secret rare, but a huge fan favorite. All the unlims even have been bought out at this point, and first ed near mint ultras are around $240 with only 2 listers. So people aren't just after the ulties, they're not after those chase secret rares even anymore alone. They are after all sorts of pieces on the market and going in, and it'll be interesting to see how the collector's market really turns itself out once things are back to normal, events are back, people are traveling. I bet the meta will immediately spike a pretty good amount, but with the collector's market, will people actually list and sell as we return towards something like having a metagame like, okay, it's time to travel, I want to go do things, I want to go buy these things? How will relisting on the market go, and will people clamor over each other? Will there be a dip? I want to call it a bubble burst. I wouldn't call it anything like that, but will there be a mass offering of these cards to be eaten up off the market at some point in actual competition there, or will people list one at a time and, oh no, you go ahead, try to make that sale. I'll sell after for a little bit more. It'll be super interesting to see how collections like this actually fall out. Pot of Equivadus has a buyout. I guess it only has one kind of version still, and the English Unlimbs start around $6 and the first edition's near 10. Is this ABC format? Let me know what this buyout is for. I'm not necessarily sure. Restock the extra deck. It still draws. It is a quick play though. Very interesting buyout here. And then Bon. This one has actually been in the comment section multiple times. I just keep forgetting about it. Somebody brought it up in the Discord, and I'm guessing it's for collectability considering it's only in a starter deck and then a super rare out of Advent Calendar. My bad, structured deck. But yeah, I think it's just for collectability rather than playability for the most part. I have not read this card in years, so let's actually read it together. At the end of the battle phase, you can discard this card, then target a monster in your graveyard that was destroyed by battle and sent there this turn. Special summon it. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can banish this card from the graveyard, target any number of Kribo monsters in the graveyard, and special summon them. Not the worst card in the world, but I don't think it's taking back over the metagame necessarily. It definitely seems more for its collectability and cuteness. That being said, thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Some lighthearted, weird buyouts, some mid-range buyouts, and some top-end, pretty interesting ones. What do you guys think of everything happening? And are you watching Mortal Kombat tonight? Get over here. Please let me know in the comment section below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy these conversations. I'm going to keep bringing you the Market Watch news even late at night.